which is, as we all know, caffeine, everybody's favorite drug. A lot of people take it to get their day started. I took it to get my day started. So since caffeine is very common, it's very important for all of us here today to get a better understanding of what we do to our bodies when we consume caffeine. And it's important for us to know the effects, what's going on chemically as well as physically. So my personal credibility is that I drink caffeine. I use it to get my boost of energy, to get concentrated, to get hyped up. So so learning about caffeine is very important, like I said, so that we can all get a better understanding. So that way, the next time we consume it, we will know what we're doing to ourselves. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about what caffeine is, what goes on chemically, and lastly I will talk about the effects that it has on your body. Okay. So what is caffeine? According to the FDA, caffeine is classified as a drug, a stimulant drug. What a stimulant drug is, it's basically anything you add to your body that affects the way it naturally, how it occurs. So it's a naturally occurring compound that can be found in around 60 plants. Some plants include cocoa beans as well as cola nuts. It's in so many things that we eat today. That's from gummy bears to waffles to tea, soda, coffee and energy drinks. And it's actually been used since the 17th century. It's actually really important. People used back in the day used to gather to drink coffee together, and they used to call it like coffee group gathering. And the FDA also states that 80% of adults consume caffeine on a regular basis. So how does caffeine work? Well, caffeine works. It's absorbed into your bloodstream after about an hour, a little less. It varies from person to person. It takes the place of adenosine, it impersonates it, and it binds to adenosine receptors. So normally adenosine, like in Jacinto's speech, he talked about how adenosine is that chemical compound that naturally occurs in your body. It's responsible for that feeling of tiredness that we all get. So like when you're feeling really sleepy, it's because adenosine receptors are receiving a lot of adenosine in the process. So when caffeine takes the place of adenosine, it binds to these receptors, and because your body confuses them. So when it binds to these receptors, it basically blocks adenosine. So instead of feeling tired, your body is like, I'm perfectly fine. So you trick your body to thinking it's good to go. Increases levels of dopamine as well as glutamine, which is that feeling of goodness that we all get. So prevents natural adenosine flow, results in decreased feeling of tiredness, and increased dopamine and glutamine levels. So and the effects last about 5 to 6 hours, depending on person. So once caffeine starts to wear off, like my rush is starting to wear off, adenosine rushes through these receptors, because once the caffeine dilutes through your blood system, the adenosine that was being held back, it's basically like a big rush. So what that rush is, so adenosine rushes through the receptors, and that is responsible for that big crash, the infamous crash that we all get. We all drink that coffee, and then soon, a couple hours later, you're done. You're calling it a day. So and continued use can result in tolerance. And basically, you keep drinking that cup of coffee every day, you keep drinking energy drinks every day, you're going to develop a caffeine tolerance. Your body is basically saying, what's going on, so it adapts to that. And that tolerance is basically just, you're going to need more caffeine, more of that substance to get a similar effect as the first time you had it. So now we're going to talk about side effects. Some side effects, according to medical news today, some side effects include insomnia, nervousness, restlessness, irritability, and increased blood pressure. And that's a result of that. Your heart is pumping more. Adenosine is not rushing through the receptors. That's why you're so alert. You're very alert. It can increase your physical performance. So basically, physical performance. You can run around you're perfectly fine because adenosine is not rushing through those receptors, and it boosts your energy level. So and effects vary from person to person. Yeah. So in conclusion, like I said, according to newsmedical.net, caffeine takes the place of adenosine. It impersonates it and blocks the passage of adenosine, resulting in that increased energy level. So it is important for us to know the basics of caffeine because it's so commonly consumed, and people, just, hey, he's having a coffee, I want to have one too. So knowing the basics will really help all of us. So I talked about what caffeine is, and I also talked about what's going on chemically, and I also talked about the effects that it has on your body. So caffeine is not. Don't be afraid. It's not a dangerous substance. Safe amounts for adults is about 400 milligrams, and you do not want to pass that. Just for the sake of your own health, your own good. Yeah. So the next time you have that, that cup of coffee in the morning, you can say, I know exactly what I'm doing to my body.